The U.S.'s Treasury Secretary just revealed how Bitcoin's going to hit $1.2 million, and it has nothing to do with what you think. While everyone's arguing about whether the government's going to buy Bitcoin or not, Scott Bessent, he's scheming. And the crazy thing is, most people have no idea what's happening. What's up, everyone? It's your boy Shub. Today we're going to talk about a shocking little fact of what Scott Bessent is doing. And we're going to talk about what he's doing with the Stablecoin Act, the Genius Act, and what the real plan is really behind that, and do they really care about stablecoins or not, and why that affects Bitcoin. Let's get into it. The U.S. has a huge problem they're facing. No one wants to buy the U.S. Treasury bonds. China stopped buying a long time ago. Russia stopped buying. Japan stopped buying. All the major countries have stopped buying. In fact, they're selling. So here's why this is happening. Imagine you lend $100 to your friend, and this $100 the day that you lent it could buy you a whole family dinner, a little bit of Taco Bell, a little bit of Chipotle, a little bit of KFC, a little bit of Chick-fil-A. But the $100, when you get it back, it can only buy you some Subway, a $5 footlong to be specific. So while the $100 is the same $100, it buys you a lot less when they return the money to you. Look at this chart here from Charlie. So you can see over the last 5 years, everything's gotten a lot more expensive. Coffee's up 44%, gas is up 45%, home prices up, everything's up. So that $100 that we were talking about is just a lot less. Here's Mark Moss talking about it as well. Says this isn't just a coincidence. The money supply went up 21%. The Fed balance sheet expanded 67%, and our national debt grew. Basically, when you print money, everything gets more expensive. So basically with the countries, they lend us money, we return the money back to them, but it's worth a lot less. So all the countries have finally realized, they're like, hey, maybe we're just going to stop buying these. So the question now is, who is actually buying our debt? So now look at this chart right here. So you can see it's mostly kind of the countries, but what's interesting here is at number 7, it's the stablecoin issuers. All right, now what the hell is a stablecoin? Okay, I'm going to break it down. A stablecoin is basically a digital dollar. And companies like Tether, Circle, they make these digital tokens, right? And they back it 1-to-1 with the dollar. So technically, they're supposed to have $1 for each USDT. The key part is that they're not holding like literally $1 under their mattress. They buy US government debt with those dollars. Imagine Nigeria wants to hold a US dollar instead of their local currency, because let's be honest, their money is inflating a lot faster than ours in the US. So they can't really easily access the dollars, but they can buy USDT or USDC in literally seconds with their phone. So this chart right here for all the countries, we know our inflation, and this is actually probably not even the real inflation. This has US at 2.9%. But you can see Turkey's at 33%, Argentina's at 32%, Russia at 8%. So most of the world is dealing with like way more inflation than ours. And these are probably official numbers, so they're probably a lot higher. But even for them, the dollar is at least better than, holding their currently, whether it's the Turkish lira or Argentinian pesos. They're at least losing less. They're at least bleeding less. So here's another view of the same thing. The G20 countries, they're just getting destroyed. Okay, so now every time someone buys these USDT or USDC coins, Tether and Circle, the stablecoin issuers have to buy more US government debt. And that's basically how they're climbing up the ranks to be one of the biggest buyers of US debt, competing even against countries and actually surpassing them as well. They've become one of the biggest buyers without anyone really realizing. It's kind of crazy. So here's where Scott Bessent comes in and why I think this guy is actually smarter than a lot of people, give credit for. First, let's play this clip right here.
I think crypto's got a great future. I think it really does. Maybe we'll pay off the $35 trillion in crypto. I'll write out a little piece of paper, 35 trillion crypto. We have no debt, right? That's what I like, right? He likes that idea too, he's laughing. Yes, did you have one? Yes.
So Trump has been hinting at this, and even Putin's advisors are talking about this. They all see it.
Америка прямо сейчас пытается поменять правила на рынке золота и криптовалют. Вспомните, какой у них долг. 35 триллионов долларов. В общем-то, это два альтернативных валютному сегменту мировых рынка. Действия Вашингтона в этом направлении отчетливо демонстрируют одну из главных американских задач. Они очень хотят решить проблему снижения доверия к доллару. США, как это было и в 30-е, и в 70-е годы, будут решать свои финансовые проблемы за счет всего мира, загоняя всех куда? В криптовалютное облако. Со временем, когда часть госдолга США будет размещена в стейблкоинах, США обесценит этот долг. Еще раз простыми словами. У них сейчас валютный 35-триллионный долг, они его загоняют в крипту, в облако, обесценивают и начинают с нуля. Это для тех, кто очень любит заниматься криптой.
So the US government is essentially exporting their debt to other people, not China, because they know other countries are not buying this anymore. But there is demand in Turkey, Argentina, all these other countries that have high inflation rates. So they're exporting their inflation to there, or their debt to there at least. So right now the stablecoin market cap is around 300 billion. But check out what Scott Bessent said about where this market can actually go.
Stablecoin legislation backed by U.S. Treasuries or T-bills will create a market that will expand U.S. dollar usage via these stablecoins all around the world. And I think that 2 trillion is a very reasonable number, and I could see it greatly exceeding that.
So in this video, he said it's going to go to 2 trillion. And I think a week later, he comes up, he tweets out this. He thinks it can go to 3.7 trillion. He basically doubled it just in a week, probably after looking at the actual numbers. So the numbers keep going up. And again, every single dollar that people buy, the companies, the stablecoin issuers have to buy U.S. government debt for. So this buys the U.S. time, 5, 10, 15, whatever years, to keep exporting this inflation, really, to the rest of the world. So here's where it gets pretty interesting for the Bitcoin holders. People will wake up, just like China did. They're going to realize that the dollars are melting ice cubes. They're just melting a little bit slower than their local currency. And when that happens, they're going to rotate into hard assets like gold, real estate, Bitcoin. So look at this chart over here with China, their gold purchases. They figured it out first, right? They stopped buying our debt and started buying hard assets. Now you're wondering, is Bitcoin really better than gold? Gold is pumping hard right now. And why is that? Gold has a long history, 5,000 plus years of being money before we got off the gold standard in 1971. But it's a much bigger market cap. It's around 30 trillion now. I think it's just hit 30 trillion. Bitcoin only has a 2.2-ish trillion market cap. So it's basically 10% of gold's market cap. It's too small for countries to enter into without just completely blowing it up. It's like trying to park a cruise ship in a swimming pool. It's just too small right now. Bitcoin still needs time to grow before countries come in. So here's where the math kind of gets exciting here. Right now, Bitcoin's market cap is around 7 times bigger than the stablecoin market cap. If the stablecoins grow to 3.7 trillion like Scott Bessent is predicting, and Bitcoin maintains the same ratio, Bitcoin's market cap could hit around $26 trillion. And that would mean, I think, a $1.2 million Bitcoin. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen tomorrow. This might take 5, 10, maybe more years. But I think this is the plan. And I think in the background, when nobody expects it, the US is going to come in and just announce that they bought a lot of Bitcoin and that they approved the strategic Bitcoin reserve. Here's kind of what's crazy to me. Bitcoin is sitting at around 110,000 or so. It keeps floating around. It's over 100,000. And if you look at the fear and greed index, it's fear. Everyone's scared. The market's going to go into a bear market, et cetera. But we're over 100K, guys. It's pretty insane to be this fearful at over 100K. It's kind of bullish for me. While everyone's kind of focused on the price, though, you got to look at everything happening in the background. Scott Bessent is setting up a whole infrastructure for this, and he's definitely not anti-crypto. They're creating an on-ramp for Bitcoin for the whole world. I mean, let me know what you guys think in the comments. And if you want a video on Bitcoin versus gold, I can do that one next, since it seems to be gold's outperforming Bitcoin this year, and everyone's saying, oh, gold is better. Hey, we'll find out. I'll break down why I think Bitcoin's better in the long term, but let me know if you guys want that video. And if you like this video, if it helped you understand a little bit, I got new videos every week. Go back and watch this other video. Make it do what it do, and peace.